What's going on, YouTube? We back. We back. You know, I know I've been a little quiet, but you know, I was getting my things in order. But we back. We back. Last night, you know, so shout out to Matchroom Boxing, Fight Hype, my boys over at Fight Hype. I was able to cover the MURATALLA versus Andy CRUZ fight, Khalil Cohen and Jesse Hart. Great night of boxing. I loved it. So let's just sit down. Let's talk about it. Again, shout out to Matchroom. It was a smooth process. I didn't like, you know, they had them hard plastic things on the wrist thing that you gotta break it. I didn't like that part, but the dope media credentials, perfect. Love that. So next time, just keep the media thing like the one on the neck, because that other one, it's too hard to take off. But in terms of the fight, man, absolutely great fight. To be two, you know, not so overly popular guys, the Fountain Blue was pretty packed. You know, the way the Fountain Blue set up, it's kind of like a theater, you know, so it's down, and then you got some more, you know, there's more seats on top. And from the looks of it, it was pretty jam-packed to the very top. You know, there was fans from all over the place. MURATALLA had a bunch of fans from California. All the Cuban fighters were there. You know, obviously, David Morrell, the 160-pound champion, Ioannis, I think is his name. That dude's huge too. But yeah, they were all there and supporting Andy CRUZ, you know, and it was a great night of boxing. The energy was good, but the winner of the night was obviously MURATALLA. You know, what a great performance of his. I could tell at the weigh-ins, you know, that he came ready, man. He came ready. He wasn't like, it looked like he was just pissed from just people just overlooking at him. Like, he was actually a pretty nice size underdog, even though he was a champion. He didn't technically win the belt, you know, after a fight. He was moved up from interim to world champion. But regardless, you know, he was still the champion. And for him to be, you know, coming as an underdog, you can tell that it pissed him off. But he was ripped, in shape. They had a fantastic game plan. So shout out to Robert Garcia and Team MURATALLA. They were fucking ready. They were ready, you know. And the moment that the bell rung, Andy CRUZ, he couldn't even breathe. Like, and that was my part. So obviously, you know, I did the whole media thing coming up, and when I talked to his trainer, Bozy Ennis, I let him know. I was like, hey man, he only got 6 fights. He ain't really been that many rounds, you know. And everyone was like, well, you know, he's a 3-time Olympic gold medalist and this and that and the third. And like, dude, I mean, that's all cool and I get it, but at the end of the day, it's a physical fight. Olympic fights, they're only 3 rounds. Like, people don't realize, like, especially, you know, your average person. Like, I've been in there. These fights get extremely physical after 5 or 6 rounds. It doesn't matter how sharp you are, how good you are. The fight is going to eventually turn into a real physical fight. And that's when you know how good people really are. And Andy CRUZ, even though I thought he was going to start off great in the beginning and then have to, you know, probably catch up, it was Raymond that started off great. I'm telling you, as soon as the bell rung, Andy CRUZ's back was against the rope within 10 seconds of the fight. And he never took his foot off the gas. That was a very impressive performance. It wasn't even just the pressure. It was the way he was cutting the ring off. He wasn't just following Andy the whole time. Like, Cuban boxers have very good legs. You know, I mean, look at Canelo Alvarez. He had a problem with a Cuban fighter with the way they move, but not Raymond. Raymond was cutting the ring off beautifully. It was a couple times where he was walking backwards, cutting the ring off. And I was very impressed in that. And not only that, he was putting his combinations together. He was going onto the body. He was coming downstairs, upstairs. Anytime Andy threw 2 punches, Raymond came back with 5 or 6. I mean, I felt like Raymond was a clear winner in that fight, you know, without a doubt. You know, I mean, I was very impressed with Raymond. And he called out Shakur people, and people are like thinking he's crazy, but he's really not. Because Raymond, it was very strong, bro. I'm telling you, I was sitting ringside. You could hear the difference in the shots, you know what I mean? Obviously in TV, probably not. But when you're right here, you can hear that thunder. And dude, Raymond could crack. Dude, I'm telling you, you can hear the shots. So with him fighting, you know, a Shakur Stevenson, and him throwing as many punches as he does throw, but with the power, you know, he might be able to do something. You know, because The last opponent that Shakur fought threw a bunch of feints is Zepeda, but he didn't have the power. Raymond has the power, you know, so call me crazy, but I like that fight. You know, I mean, obviously, I feel like Raymond, he just defended the belt successfully with a name, so he probably should get another check first and then go to the big fights. But it sounds like he's ready for the big fights right now. And after that performance, he probably deserved it, you know, because like I said, man, everyone was writing him off, but, bro, he did not take one step going backwards. And to do that for 36 minutes is very impressive. And I went to go look at some of his training because I was like, dang, I mean, obviously I knew the name, but man, he works a lot on his footwork. He put in a tremendous training camp for this fight. You could see it on the scale, and he defended his belt successfully like a true champion. So he's clearly a true champion at 135. And I mean, until Tank comes back, I like him to be the man at 135. In the co-main event, man, I thought it was a bad decision. Was it a great fight? No. You know, I've actually fought Jesse Hart. Me and Jesse Hart fought like 5 times in the amateurs. I put him down. He put me down. So one thing I do know about Jesse is Jesse could crack. But the fact that Khalil Cole came in 8 rounds, 8 pounds over the weight limit shows me that Jesse Hart's power got taken out the mix immediately because this guy didn't have to cut no weight, you know. So he was taking shots. He was a cruiserweight easily in there, you know. He weighed in on 185, you know. So he was already a cruiserweight. So when he stepped in there, you know, Jesse's go-to shot, that straight right, didn't have a lot of effect on Khalil because he was too big, you know what I mean. And Khalil started off slow. I mean, Eddie Hearn's pissed. You know, so I think Team Khalil Cole, he looked fantastic his last fight. So they lost, bad graces, came back, looked fantastic in Mexico, good graces, but he just dropped the ball again, and Eddie Hearn is not happy with that. And on top of it, it was a snoozer. I thought Jesse won the first five rounds easy. I said as long as he wins 1 or 2 of the last 5, he should be able to win the fight, but his conditioning did go down a little bit, and it just felt like Khalil, being the bigger man, was just pushing him back so much. So it was easier to give Khalil some of those rounds. But I still felt that Jesse dominated the first half of the fight, and he easily won at least 1 or 2 rounds. Both the points, you know, obviously the Khalil Cole slamming him, that should have been a point because that was ridiculous. And then Jesse holding, I felt like he wasn't really holding that much. He just was smothering, you know, so that really shouldn't have been a point. But, you know, it is what it is. But not the best fight, not the best decision. A draw would have been better, but, you know, it is what it is. That's the fight game. They're going to protect their fighter. So they gave Khalil Cole the W, but Khalil needs to really tighten up. He is a good fighter. He is strong. You can hear some of the shots in there, but he needs to take his job seriously because, like Eddie said, he gets 300 messages a day of fighters wanting to get opportunities like the one he just got. And if he keeps dropping the ball on these, he's going to be a free agent. And being an undefeated, he's not even undefeated, but being a free agent with a lot of good fights, you know, you need a proper promoter behind you. So, but other than that, oh yeah, and there was 2 prospects. Shakur's cousin, I don't want to get his name wrong, so I ain't gonna say it. He looked good. The Olympian looked good. They both got 6 good rounds in, which is, you know, it's necessary when you're on the come up, you know, because like I said, these fights get physical. It don't matter how good you are. You need rounds. You need rounds with tough guys that can hurt you, guys that can, take you to them tests and take you to deep waters, you know, and that's why MURATALLA was able to beat Andy, because MURATALLA took all the hard fights. Top Rank did a great job of moving them. Andy CRUZ tried to move a little too fast, and it showed last night. But overall, great night of boxing. I loved it. It was dope. Had a great seat. The fans loved it. That main event was a very good fight, you know, and looking forward to the return. So you already know, like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what y'all think of the fights. You watch the fights, and what's next for these guys.